First, I want to tell you about just a quick story. And I have something else to tell you too. Years ago, in the town we used to live in Sibley, Louisiana, there was a Webster Parish Sheriff's deputy who, at that time, was in his 50s. He got caught messing with a 15-year-old girl in the high school parking lot in his sheriff's deputy car. They fired him. And a couple of years later, he became the chief of police for the town I lived in. And they caught him doing all kinds of bad stuff. They actually arrested him. He was forcing people to pay. He was pulling people over, and the people he would pull over were the poorest people who had very little recourse, and he would threaten them with jail time if they didn't pay for their ticket in cash. And after 2 years of this, enough people had brought this to the attention of state police that they confiscated. The state police came with a flatbed truck, pulled his car up on it, and arrested the guy. And they found all kinds of tickets in his car that he had written and never turned in, which obviously was a sign that he was, getting paid cash. So they arrested him, and everybody's thinking, oh, finally this dirtbag will get put away. Nope. They gave him 6 months probation is all he got. But why I'm telling you that story is because while he was our chief of police, I saw him here and there in the stores and a restaurant, and I'd always say, hi, chief, just be friendly. And he would never look at me. He would always turn his head and say, hey, how you doing? He would never look you in the eyes or in the face. He would always purposely avert his eyes, turn away from you. And I always found that to be very, very curious. That was until I found out the rest of the story. He was a real dirtbag. And I heard a quote by Denzel Washington, of all people. Denzel, the actor. He said, some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. And boy, that's the first thing that came to my mind, was that cop who couldn't look people in the eye. Anyway, that's just a quick story I want to tell you. The second story, is all 7 of these neck knives are sold, and not even done yet. Nobody's paid me, and I don't like to get paid till I'm done because I could die tomorrow. I sold 2 quilts. I do intend to put a video up of my wife's quilts that she has for sale, and she's got a few. But I sold 2. I shipped them today. So what you're going to see now is just me, a little bit of knife work, and that's it. But we got rain tomorrow. The day got away from us today. We're going to be bad weather tomorrow. So maybe Saturday or Sunday, I'll put a video up of what quilts my wife has to sell. And she's not asking a lot for her quilts, but both quilts I shipped today were one was $40 even, and the other was $35. I could not believe it. $75 worth of shipping, because I had to put it in a bigger box. They don't make a flat rate box big enough to hold the quilt, so I had to go and buy boxes from the post office, and those were $6 each. And then I came home, boxed them up, addressed them, taped them up, and I went back to the post office, and that was $75 worth of shipping. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that all 7 knives are sold, but I will, as I work on them, I'm going to work on them tomorrow. I'll show you finishing them. And if I can remember, I'm going to put in the description a link to a video I did a while back. It's just all the blades I've made with some weird space music behind it, just in case somebody hasn't seen it before. All right. Have a good Friday, y'all. Okay, 3 of these are spoken for, actually maybe a fourth. But what I'm doing this morning is I'm gonna get all the handles epoxied and clamped. And then I'm gonna go home, and somebody bought a quilt last night, and I gotta go home and get that boxed up and ship it to Illinois. And then another lady up in Northern California bought a quilt, and I'm waiting for her to tell me which one she wants, and hopefully she can get back to me before I go to the post office so I can mail 2 of them. And I may have to go to the post office and see if they got any bigger boxes, because the boxes that I have are actually, they're them right there, and they're not, I don't know if I can squeeze the blanket down enough to get it in there. We'll see. But the post office does have some bigger boxes and, you know, flat rate boxes. So I may go to the post office and see what they got in the way of boxes. And if they don't have a box I need, I may just have to go scrounge. There's a couple of dollar stores around here that have boxes. And anyway, so what I'm going to do now is answer comments on my last video and get the epoxy in these handles on, and then go back to the house and mail quilts. All right, I am caught up on replying to comments. 3 of these knives are sold. That's the synthetic, the maple burl. And I don't know if you recall the Nessmuk I made, but this is actually the leftover wood from that Nessmuk. And the fellow that bought the Nessmuk wants a knife with the same kind of handles. So these 3 are sold, and they're all to my friend David, who lives right just, you could almost see his house if I stuck my head out the back door here, you could see. But David lives over behind me. And somebody he works with bought that Nessmuk with the yellow Corellian. And he's the one that wants this to match his Nessmuk. And then David wants the synthetic and the maple burl, so that's sold. And I have a lot of people that are already interested in these, so, you know, basically it's, if you tell me that you want it, I'll put your name on it. Otherwise, it's, you know, when I get the money on my PayPal, that's where it goes. So I will have 4 that I don't have a definite I want on, and 3 that are definitely sold. But I'm fixing to get my epoxy out. And my mixing cups. And my steering sticks. Where are the cups? Where are the cups? No. Where are my stupid mixing cups? Brad, what did you do with your mixing cups? Huh. This is what happens when I don't come out here for a while. I forget where I put everything. Nope. Huh. Well, son of a gun. I'll be back. I'll find him. Crap. Right there, looking right at him. And it even says, epoxy cups and sticks. All right. Let's get to work. Okay, there's 7 knives, epoxied, pinned, clamped. And tomorrow, I will come out here and start sanding on the handles and polishing them up. And then after that, I make sheaths for them. You know, I think I told you that 3 of them were going to David, my friend and neighbor. And a guy named Brent wants one. I'm not sure which one he's going to pick. My friend Errol down in the Alabama-Florida line, he wants one, so that's 5. So I think there's going to be 2 left. So Anyway, I'm gonna sit a minute and then I'm gonna get up and see about cutting me a sharp finger out, and then go home and mail those quilts. Okay, I did not cut out a sharp finger. I've got a very limited amount of my 1/8" steel left. That's the last piece right there. So I don't want to start cutting out knives until somebody has, wants one, because I got to sell a bunch of knives before I can order any more steel. But I thought I would tell you, just in case some of y'all don't remember or haven't been subscribed to my channel long enough to know the knives that I make most often. I have other knives like that Swamp Rat right there. I make that knife. I do make this Bayou chopper. But here is the 3-finger neck knife. That's the smallest one I make, and that's what these 7 are. This is another neck knife. It's a little bigger. You can get 4 fingers on it. This is the dinner skinner, the Cato sharp finger, BC Special, the Nessmuk, and the biggest knife I make besides the Bayou chopper there. This is the Texas Rumble. And right now, my favorite knife to make is this. This is my second favorite, BC Special, and I've made 3 of these so far. I just started making them recently, and they're kind of fun to make. So that's my knives, and now I'm going home to mail a couple of quilts.